Hare Krishna, Prabhu's Mother is. Welcome all of you for this Bhagavad Gita session. So we'll be discussing chapter 15. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुरमाई की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय। ओम ज्ञान तमनांधस्य ज्ञानांजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So the Yoga of the Supreme Person, chapter 15. So today's verse is 15.15. It's a very, very important verse for us to, first of all, memorize the verse and the translation and know the lessons from this. Sarvasya chaham nirdi sannivishto mata smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo Vedant Krita Veda Videva Chaham. Translation by Bhagavad. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. It's a very beautiful verse to understand. See, in this verse, Prabhupada says in the last line, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas are very clearly defined. Purpose, understanding, and goal. And Prabhupada, and the translation we just now we saw, right? Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. After reading all the Vedas, everything, ultimately it is Krishna who is to be known. And he also says, I am seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. And from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So today, let us see about the remembrance and forgetfulness. Right? See, the quality of remembrance, no, is actually indeed a gift from Krishna. Because Krishna assures in this verse, Matas matir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. We might have also practically experienced in our childhood days, during school or college, the moment we enter the exam hall, for some time it appears as if everything is totally blank. Right? But once we get the question paper, to our own surprise, by the complete mercy of the Lord, each and every answer will pop up. Krishna will help us to remember the answers if we had endeavored to study. That is definitely. So if this is the case with material knowledge, then what to speak of the value of studying the scriptures and chanting mantras? The life of Gajendra, the king of elephants, is a proof of this. So while narrating the pastimes of Gajendra, Shukadeva Goswami says in Bhagavatam 8.3.1, Shri Badarayan Vacha Evam Vivasito Buddhya Samadhaya Manohride Jajapa Paramam Japyam Pragjanmanyan Shikshitam. Shukadeva Goswami continued. See, beautiful translation, just here. He says, thereafter, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, fixed his mind in his heart with perfect intelligence and chanted a mantra which he had learned in his previous birth as Indradyumna and which he remembered by the grace of Krishna. What a beautiful translation. So in this verse, the word Anushikshitam means practice. When Gajendra was born as King Indradyumna in his previous birth, he had sincerely practiced chanting the mantras. So if we sincerely endeavor to chant the mantras in this lifetime, the Lord is so merciful that even if we fall down and get birth in a body other than that of human being, Krishna mercifully allows us to remember the verse. That's why it is always insisted that we should recite Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam shloka daily, which we are doing daily, right? So that transcendental sound vibration is so powerful that it will immediately bring Vaikuntha atmosphere, even in this world where we are living in full of anxieties. Kunta. Vaikuntha means no anxiety. Kunta means anxiety. See, most importantly, by recitation of verses in every day, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it purifies our own consciousness. And all the activities we do, no, like cooking, washing, or cleaning the house, it will be perfect. We should chant the mantras in a devotional mood, not just a ritual. So if you just do it mechanically, it becomes a ritual, right? So unless you add spirit into it, it will not become spiritual. So in the ritual, you should add the spirit. Then it becomes spiritual. So the chanting the mantras in a whimsical or mechanical manner, it will not please the Lord. In his very powerful purport to this verse, Prabhupada says, it is imperative, therefore, that all devotees in Krishna consciousness practice chanting some mantra. Certainly, one should chant the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the Maha mantra or great mantra. And also, one should practice chanting Chintamani Prakara Satmashu or the Narsimha Totra. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. And he also says in this purport, every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly, so that even though he may be imperfect in spiritual consciousness in this life, in his next life, he will not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. See, nowadays it is difficult, for us to remember even what we learned even 2 days ago, or even yesterday also. But in the pastime of Gajendra, we see that even in the body of elephant, Krishna has blessed him to remember the shlokas that were learnt in his previous birth. So if we constantly endeavor to use our memory for thinking and singing about Krishna, then he will help us to remember him more and more. On the other hand, if we use our memory on finding faults in others and daydreaming, then we will be haunted by such thoughts more and more. Remembrance of the Lord and shlokas glorifying him will save us from the greatest fears. Just like how Gajendra was blessed with the darshan of the Lord in all protection when he was put in a very precarious condition. So now in this birth, let us all sincerely chant the mantras daily, and Krishna will take care of everything else, not only in this birth, but also in future births. Very good quality God. Krishna even forgets. Let us see, what does he forget? So first of all, let us see the domestic scene in the morning, in the majority of households in the morning, how it will be. When children are getting ready to leave for school, adults are about to leave for their offices. It's a really frantic search for things, right? Where is that? Where is this? Right from young ones to the old ones, everybody forgets where they place their things. And this results in the morning time being the most stressful one, searching for things, because we don't keep the thing where we took it. We take it and put it in some other place and go on searching. Because not organized, right? We see that children, after putting in long hours of study, they forget the whole thing when they see the question paper. We even hear so many doctors, right? They also sometimes forget certain things, right? But that is not good. So they should pray to Krishna. See, on top of all this, we conveniently forget all the favors we have received from others and thus become ungrateful personalities who are condemned everywhere. Therefore, what happens, this forgetfulness plays havoc in the lives of everyone without exception. The real havoc caused by forgetfulness is so sharply pointed out by the human soul in its prayers while being in the mother's womb. Beautiful prayer 3:31:15, where the human soul further it prays. It says the living entity is put under the influence of material nature and continues the hard struggle for existence on the path of repeated birth and death. This conditioned life is due to his forgetfulness of his relationship, nashta smritihi, loss of memory, with the Supreme Lord. Therefore, without the Lord's mercy, how can he engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord? So this all makes us feel that forgetfulness is a great curse. And we start wondering how to get relief of this curse. If we look deep into the matter, no, we will understand that even though forgetfulness leads to a lot of troubles, lot of confusions, there are still certain advantages and merits associated with it, even if you forget. What is that? Suppose, you see, the point is, suppose we start remembering all our activities in our previous births. Or for that matter, if we remember everything that happens in our lives minute by minute, how can we survive without being insane? Correct. So forgetfulness is a healing agent that makes us forget the so many untoward things happening in our lives, like the loss of near and dear ones, insults and injuries meted out to us. And if they keep on lodging themselves in our heart, how can we lead a normal life? So in these cases, our forgetfulness is a real boon. See, we have to accept that a good memory power is indeed essential for successful running of a household or an enterprise or country. Then what to top of the running of the whole cosmic show by the Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord and control must be having a very powerful memory, right? In order to manage the whole thing so perfectly. So Srila Prabhupada says in the purport of 15.15, Antas Pravishta Shasta Jananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body. But he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work where he ended his last life. So, our greatest good fortune is that our Lord has an exceptional memory power. And we can see again from this the verse in Adi Puran, where Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, listen attentively. When the living entity chants my name, whether out of devotion or indifference, then his name will remain forever in my heart. I will never forget such a soul." What he says, see, when living entity chants my name, whether out of devotion or indifference, then his name will remain forever in my heart. I will never forget such a soul. So we insignificant, we are all insignificant, so much dependent upon the memory power of the Lord to remember the good things done by us. That in Ishopanishad text 17, there is a appeal, very fervent appeal by the memory of the Lord. He says, let this temporary body be burnt to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. Now, see, fearing the worst, we will be overwhelmed by our forgetfulness of the Lord at the time of death. Correct, no? So therefore, Kulashekara Alvar prays in his famous prayer, My Lord Krishna, I pray that the swan of my mind may immediately sink down to the stems of the lotus feet of your Lordship and be locked in their network. Otherwise, at the time of my final breath, when my throat is choked up with cough, how will it be possible to think of you? Now, the magnanimous Lord replies in Varaha Purana Charama Shloka that all that a devotee has to do is to surrender to him. When all his faculties are in proper order. See, at the moment of death, even if the devotee were to lie unconscious and senseless like a stone, the Lord with the long memory remembers what the devotee did when he was well. So that time he takes the person under his wings and bestows on him the best of all worlds. The Lord assures, Aham smarami mad bhaktam, telling us that not a single good thing we do to him is forgotten. I will never forget. This is what Lord says. Now, the point is, as we relax ourselves, okay, the Lord indeed, He remembers whatever good we did. On the other hand, just think about it. What would be our position if the Lord starts remembering all our offenses also so perfectly? Very difficult, right? But He doesn't do that. So, Lord Ramachandra is specifying us and assuring us with this magnificent attribute as is given in Ramayana, where He says, Lord Ram is eternally pleased by even a single small favor done at some point of time. Whereas He forgets just in a jiffy all the bad turns done to Him however grave and numerous they are, just ignores. So this attribute is of paramount importance for the sinful living entities like us. That is why the Lord is glorified as Hari Medasa. Hari Medase, whose brain works only for the deliverance of the conditioned soul. Bhagavad 4, 30, 30, 24. Fourth canto, 30th chapter, 24 verse. So let us finally see, we in our relationship with living entities should make an effort, an earnest effort, to remember only the good things and forget the bad things. So this verse given us a very wonderful lesson. So thank you very much, Mataji. Granthara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Shri Prabhupada Tagore Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.